right. This is the 57th, hold on. Yep, 57th episode of the Runnin My Mouth podcast. I am your befuddled host, Aaron, and allow me to run my mouth for a little bit. I am befuddled because it seems I have gone 2 weeks with little to talk about somehow. Like, I usually have a pretty stacked topics list, but today we're working with not a lot. So this might be a shorter episode, and if it is, that's fine. You know, sometimes the extra long episodes, they're a bit much. But today, I feel like this, I, I feel like every time I say, oh, this episode is going to be longer than usual, or oh, this episode is going to be shorter than usual, it's just going to be an hour and a half, like it always is. So, like, why listen to me? Anyway, let's just start with the shows that I've been to recently, because that is primarily what I have to talk about. Before I do that, let me plug my phone up. I don't know why I didn't do this before I started recording, because my phone is on like 14% and it was in my pocket. I would like for it to, oh, now it's on 10%. Fun, love that. Put you right there. Okay, so I went to more than one show in the past 2 weeks. Please clap. I know I don't know what's been, well, I know exactly what's been going on. For whatever reason, there have been quite a few shows these past couple of months. There have been quite a few shows that I've wanted to go to these past couple of months. But it seems like every time, every single time, whether this be a weekday or a weekend, weirdly, it gets to be, 6 or 7 o'clock. Or not even 6 or 7 o'clock. It gets to be like 4 or 5 o'clock. And, I'm thinking about the show, and then I'm thinking about how comfy my bed is. And it's like, oh yeah, man, I wanna lay in bed instead of going to a show where I know I'm gonna have fun. So it's like, okay, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's why I haven't been going to a whole lot of shows recently. I just want to sleep. That's it. I don't know what that means, if that means anything, but that's the explanation for it. I literally just want to sleep, and that's literally it. So that's that. But these past couple of shows that I've been to, I fought sleep, because the one that I went to yesterday, I was dressed, sitting on my bed, and I was like, man, what if I didn't go? But then I ended up going anyways, and it was fun. So it's like, I don't know why my brain is like fighting itself when it's like, I know I'm gonna have fun, but like, I just don't feel like going. But anyway, let's get to the actual shows. The first one that I went to in this past 2-week period, this was at Hal and Mal's. I'm looking at my calendar and I'm trying to find it. Hold on, was this on a Friday? It was on a Friday. Okay, so this was another charity show for, I believe, the Animal Rescue Fund, organized by No Posers, No Problem. And I'm not really sure how much money was raised. I don't think it was posted or anything, but I would say it was pretty decent turnout. And also, I think tickets were like only $10 or something like that, and there were 4 bands on the bill. So it's like, that's, first of all, a pretty good deal. And so, like I said, that was at Hal and Mal's. This is the first No Posers, No Problem show that I've been to. I actually met, I think it's one, maybe it's 2 people that runs the account. I'm not really sure. His name is Paul. Chill guy for the most part. And so, yeah, it was, like I said, fun show. I'll just go through the bands. So the first one up for the night was, okay, so one band had to drop, and they were replaced by Storage Only. I think that's the name, because there's like 2 bands in Mississippi with Storage in the name. It wasn't Storage 24. However, Storage 24 was at a previous show that they put on that I was not at, because I think I was out of town or something. I don't know what I was doing, but I wasn't there. I'll say that much. But no, it was Storage Only. They are from Tupelo, Mississippi. And actually, there were 2 separate bands, but they're 2 different projects by the same people. So Storage Only and then Encircled Throne, which I'll talk about a little bit later. They're more of a metalcore-y type band. I did like them. So, also, something that I put up in my noodle to remember, because I felt like I need to remember it. the people in Storage Only / Encircled Throne, I think they've been looking for a guitarist and a bassist for quite some time. I mean, I've been following them on Instagram for a few months now. I don't really know how long, but a few months now. And they have been looking for a guitarist and a bassist. So if you're in the Tupelo / I guess maybe North Alabama area, I don't know. You play guitar and bass, they're looking for you. So uh inquire below. I mean, not, yeah, reach out to them if you can play guitar and bass. And because of that, they had a backing track, which I don't really have much of an opinion about bands that use like a backing track. Honestly, I will say I do kind of like a backing track, because I just feel like it adds another layer, especially, if, let's see, I'm trying to remember. So when I saw Death Throws from a Star, which it's been a while since I've seen them, I just love that band. And I think they teased that they were putting out new music soon. But I'm not sure if it came out yet or not. Actually, I can look. I don't think it has, because I feel like if it did, then obviously I would know about it, because duh, I love Death Throws from a Star. Hold on. We're detouring. Detouring just a little bit. Okay, I don't really see anything new here. Hold on, what if I go to the Instagram? Let's see. No, there's nothing there. Okay, never mind. They were teasing new music, and I obviously will be seated when that new music comes out. But what was I even talking about? Oh, so when I was seeing Death Throws from a Star, for their EP release show, for their self-titled EP, they had like a kind of ambient backing track in between their songs, which I really think adds a layer of I don't know, just like production value, just a little bit. And listen, this isn't like a requirement or anything, because I know like having a backing track isn't like super feasible. Number one, for all venues, and number two, for all bands. So it's like this isn't a requirement, but I do really like a backing track because I feel like it adds another layer of like production quality. Just kind of, I mean, it's not small, because like you have to record the backing track, and Lord knows how long that takes. But it's sort of in the lines there of like miking up all of your drums. Like I feel like that adds a layer. And I think a backing track also adds a layer. And I think visuals also add a layer. But again, they don't have to be, complicated. It could just be like one colored light. And Slow Hole, perfect example. When Slow Hole came to the not really last show at the Sunflower Oven, they had all the lights cut out and just had like one red light, and it was fantastic. I gotta listen to Slow Hole again, actually. I forgot how much I like them. Yeah, stream Slow Hole. Definitely. But yeah, it's just something that I noticed that was cool. In their case, they had a backing track because they didn't have a drummer, or not a drummer, they had a drummer. They didn't have a guitarist or a bassist, so obviously someone has to play those live. I keep accidentally hitting my keyboard, and I don't want to like accidentally pause like I did last time, because that was really annoying. Anyway, Storage 24, they were nice. And then after them, I'm trying to remember the order of the night. I think CookieWu was after them, if I had to guess. Hold on, where is it? Yes. And so obviously CookieWu, I didn't know this, they're from Meridian. I don't know, I just thought they were from Jackson. They're actually from Meridian. There are bands from Meridian. Color me surprised. I mean, I feel like there has to be stuff going on in Meridian, but of all of the like separate Mississippi city scenes, Meridian, you don't hear about Meridian very much, but there's something going on in Meridian. There's CookieWu in Meridian. And they are so great, but I feel like all their songs are like so different, but like not in a bad way. I feel like they have not a super wide ranging sound, but like it is definitely kind of goes from the sort of heavier funk to, I don't know, more punk sound. And it's like they're really good. Like went away from their set being like, yeah, like I like CookieWu, like this is nice. And also I brought my camera, which it's literally in front of me. Like, why am I looking for it on my desk when I'm using it to record right now? I brought my camera and I brought my flash too, but my freaking flash died, which is crazy. Cause I mean, you know, batteries, they discharge, but like I hadn't even really used it really. And the thing about my flash, which isn't on my desk, it takes like 4 AA batteries, and I'm not just carrying 4 AA batteries on me. But thankfully, I bought some more batteries. I haven't swapped them out yet, but you know, they're there if I need them. But I ended up using the camera, my like, you know, on-camera flash. And I mean, it was fine. I mean, it's not superb. I mean, that's why I, you know, wanted to get a separate flash to begin with. But it gets the job done. And you know what? My on-camera flash got the job done. So it did what it had to do. Moving on. And then there was Encircled Throne, I think. Yes, Encircled Throne set. And they were a more heavier sound. I'm not really sure. I mean, I can just look this up. Hold on. Encircled Throne. They are... Where am I? Well, okay, this just says metal. Let me see. It just says metal. Okay, so I guess they're a more, what do you call it? Straightforward metal band. And I have a compact disc that they had for sale. This is Your Sins Will Seek You Out. And I think not all of them, but like track 2 through 7, maybe not 7. How many sins are there? There's 7 deadly sins. There's 9 tracks on this album though, so I think yeah, I haven't actually listened to the CD yet. Oopsie. But here's the inside. Hold on. That's the CD itself. This is the booklet. There are lyrics in here. Let me try to fish this thing out. Hold on. Okay. Ooh, don't fall, please. Okay, that's the front. This is the back that has the track list. And then we have lyrics and more lyrics. I'm not doing each page, or yes I am. These pages are kind of thick. And more lyrics. Is this papyrus? Oh yeah, slay. Oh, there's a nice little, oh, I just punched my microphone. We want to thank everyone who has been on this ride with us. Special thanks to all our families and friends for putting up the countless hours and hours, getting everything for this album and performing live. We love you all. Oh, I love that. That's cute. I'm going to put this back in here. Is that the right? Okay, yeah, that's the right side. So I did get that. I realized recently that I hadn't really expanded my sticker and pin wall because I haven't really been going to shows to get stickers and pins. And I also realized I didn't have one of my own stickers on the sticker wall. So I put it up there along with an Encircled Throne sticker that I have. And I really want to get more stickers and pins. So I guess I got to go to more shows to get those stickers and pins so I can fill up the sticker and pin wall. Because I have 3 of these, I guess they're 12 by 12 cork pads that are like halfway full. They have definitely a lot of space on them. And then I have 3 more that I could put up there. But yeah, we gotta fill that up, you know? And then after Encircled Throne was banned from Florida, which, by the way, I didn't mention this, but I felt like CookieWu's set was, like, decently long, whereas everyone else's was maybe not that long. But I also wasn't really keeping track like that. So it was just vibes, I guess. Also, the drummer for CookieWu, I don't know, I could just, like, be mixing 2 completely different people who look similar up, but I'm like 90% sure the drummer for CookieWu also does drums for Facerot. So I was like, oh, this guy's like really versatile. Like, that's really cool. Style-wise, anyway. And then after that was Hangnail Ripoff from Florida. Where in Florida? It's a great question. I'm gonna look. Hangnail Ripoff. Let's see. Oh, it just says Florida. I guess they're from the entire state of Florida. Mr. Worldwide. What? Does it say it here? It sure doesn't. Well, I guess they're just from Florida. Is there a... Nope, there's not. Okay. They don't have a link tree or anything like that. Or do they have... Okay, well now I'm just looking at hangnails. Nope. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. They're just from Florida. Hold on. I would love to know the genre. Death metal, brutal death metal. I also ended up, oh, look at this. Oh, wait, no. Anyways, they had a show with Drosera who came through. I have a big sticker over there. They came through a little while ago. They played at the plant. And I like Drosera too. I'm trying to remember whether or not I bought their tape or the other. Anyways, I'm making no sense. Hangnail Ripoff, they were great. They were from Florida. It was an overall very fun show. I did, however, witness an almost fight. It wasn't a fight 100%, but then something that occurred to me in that moment, which, perhaps not the best thought to be having, but I realized that in all of my 26 years of living, I have never seen two white people fight. And I was like, oh, this is new. So, yeah. I mean, nothing really ended up happening, but still, I was like, hey, wait a minute. This is a novel experience. Either way, it was a fun show. I'm glad I went. I got a lot of good pictures. That was on the 17th. And then I didn't go to another show until this past Saturday, which was yesterday. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, never mind. We're gonna move on. I was gonna detour yet again, but also, never mind. Well, okay, I'll just say what I was thinking. I made coffee and I put heavy cream in here, and it tastes delicious, of course, but I'm starting to think that maybe that was a mistake. Because, I'm not out here just, drinking glasses of milk or eating blocks of cheese, but I'm wondering if, with age, I have also gained lactose intolerance because, yeah, I'm still going to drink it, though, because it's good. And I also put hot chocolate in here. Have a little mocha moment. What was that? I heard it sound. I'm hoping that was my dishwasher, because my dishwasher is on, but my dishwasher should not be making that kind of sound. Anyway. Okay. Next. Okay, I went and investigated. I don't know what the heck that was. At first I was like, okay, maybe it's my upstairs neighbor, but I don't even know if I have an upstairs neighbor anymore because I haven't seen or heard anyone in I feel like it's had to be a month now. So it's like, I don't know. Anyways, you know what? It is Halloween. It's spooky season. This is going out, 2 days before Halloween? So yeah. A little scare for you. Anyways, okay. The show that I went to yesterday is my first house show ever, baby's first house show. And I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't really sure what to expect exactly with this house show. I didn't know if it was gonna be indoors, was it gonna be outdoors? Am I gonna, what's the deal here? But I will say, it did end up going really well, and it was a lot of fun. So we had False Gods, Facerot, Measureless Aeons, and Exorcism. And of course, you know me, I am Measureless Aeons' #1 fan, so I had to be there. And I, of course, love False Gods down, so I, again, had to be there. And so we started out with Facerot. The show started, I think, when did it start? 7-ish? 7 or thereabouts, and it was outside at a house. I don't know, it was at a house. I won't say whose house it was, I guess for privacy reasons, but it was at a house. And it was outside in this really nice kind of back porch area. It was a nice house, I'm not gonna lie. It was a cute little house. On the back porch was the stage area. It was honestly a really great setup to have a show, I will say that much. And the sound was also pretty decent. I was wondering kind of how that would go, but since Brian of Measureless Aeons, their drummer, he's I guess, kind of a sound guy, that really helped. And also Measureless Aeons does have their own dedicated sound guy. I forgot his name. I think it's Eric or something. So that definitely helped a lot, having someone who I guess kind of specializes in sound being there and making sure it sounds good. I did have my earplugs in. I was wondering, because it was outside, would I be able to get away with not having my earplugs? But also because I do like to stand like directly by the stage and by the speakers, I probably wouldn't have survived without my earplugs, which I forgot I need those now. Hold on. I gotta pause again. All right, I have them for my little ad read that I'll do later. Because I guess I do those now. Anyways, yeah, if I, wanted to continue standing directly next to the stage and the speakers, I probably wouldn't be able to without my earplugs. But also I feel like if you were standing far enough, because again, it was outside, if you're standing far enough away, it might have been okay. So the first band of the night, first of all, they had to do really short sets because of the setup. I guess, the people who live there kind of made a deal with the neighbors being like, hey, we're going to be out by 9. And that was the plan, to be out by 9. Also, there was sort of a question of whether or not it was going to start raining. Thankfully, it didn't until after the show. Like, literally, as I was driving home, it started raining. And not particularly hard. It was just kind of, sprinkling a little bit. Honestly, it wasn't that much rain. But because, the show started at 7 and they had to be out by 9, everyone was doing, like, shorter sets. So, Facerot went first, love Facerot. Nothing different to say there. But towards the tail end of their set, in fact, I think, like, during their last song, the police showed up, and I was kind of worrying that would happen because, again, we are just kind of in a neighborhood, but it ended up being fine, surprisingly. Like, I saw them pulling up. It was a Capitol Police car, had the little blue lights on, pulled up in front of the house, and I was like, oh crap, are we about to get shut down, like, during the first, set out of 4? Like, okay, well, this is kind of lame. But apparently, I guess, from what I heard, the cop was just driving by and heard it and was like, ooh, what's going on here? Because, police are nosy. I mean, I guess that's their whole thing, but still, And so they ended up leaving. And so it was like, fine. So, that was pretty decent. And so after False Gods was Exorcism, and they are a kind of death metal. Oh, wait, I didn't really... What did I say? Did I say after False Gods? After Facerot, who is a more deathcore band. And so I've seen, sometimes on Instagram, on the Instantgram, I go through like the people that I follow is like liked reels, and apparently there's this thing, and I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not like plugged in, like, I don't know if I was ever plugged in to begin with, but I don't, maybe I'm not as plugged in as I thought I was, but there's this thing called MySpace Deathcore. And it is, I guess, describing deathcore from the MySpace days. So, like, I don't know, what, Bring Me the Horizon's, like, first album? I'm pretty sure that's kind of deathcore-y. But I was never really into, like, straight deathcore. Like, I've always been, like, a metalcore girly, prog, gent, that kind of thing. So this is not... I'm not super familiar with this, but I'm just gonna look it up. MySpace deathcore, just to kind of get so this is a Reddit thread from 4 years ago. Let's see, top comment. We have a person who is the former guitarist of the band Tracheotomy, so primary source, maybe. It refers to deathcore from the MySpace era, which is 2000s, I'm assuming, 2002 2010. Old Suicide Silence, Carnifex, Molotov Solution, etc. It's starkly different from modern deathcore to the point where it may as well be 2 different genres. But to the degree and the, how is it different from modern deathcore? I don't know. Someone who actually listens to deathcore might have to explain that to me, because I don't really know. Actually, I think I might have had it explained to me and I just don't remember. Yeah, apparently this has been, let's see, I mean, that Reddit thread was from 2021, 4 years ago. This Lamb Goat article is from 2024. Let's see. Let's talk about deathcore. Once considered a dirty word that any band branded with fought tooth and nail to evade, which I don't know why. Is it corny to combine death metal with hardcore? Which I'm assuming that's what deathcore means, by the way. I wouldn't really know what else it would be. I'm not reading this whole article, but there's an article on Lamb Goat about it, and I do know there is a like really long Spotify playlist with called there's a few. MySpace Deathcore. This one right here that has like 900, almost 1,000 songs on it. So, I mean, I did like go through that and kind of shuffle through the songs just to kind of get an idea. But like, I don't know, maybe I just need to do some more scholarly research, but yeah. Anyways, all that to say is I'm pretty sure Facerot is a deathcore band. Would they describe themselves as MySpace deathcore? I don't think so. I think I brought that up because I remember watching that reel like an hour ago. So yeah, there's that. That was Facerot. What the heck am I talking about now? Oh, wait, who went next? Oh, I'm all over the place today. Exorcism. They are a death metal, black metal. I don't know why I said death metal. They're a black metal band from. I honestly can't remember where they're from, but I do know they are kind of from the middle of nowhere, I think. And all the members are very young, very, very plucky. And it's like, you know, it's always fun watching the babies do what they do. You know, it's like, yeah, this is the next generation. And I love it when young people are passionate about something, because if you're a young person these days, there's not a lot to be passionate about, let me tell you. As someone who is, you know, I guess I would be considered chopped and unk these days. There's really not a lot to be excited or passionate about. So it's like, you know, another crazy thing, this isn't related to music at all, but you know, I've seen the reels, people romanticizing being in high school in 2016. And as someone who was in high school in 2016, the only thing that I missed from that era were those army green jackets and nothing else. Not a single thing else. Everything else can die. Like, I don't care about anything else from 2016. I just want my army green jacket back because I got rid of it a long time ago. And it's like, ugh. That's the only thing I miss about being in high school in 2016. Like the first Trump administration, don't miss that. Not at all. Being in high school, don't miss that. Good Lord. Oh, no. Being 16 years old, don't miss that. There is nothing aside from that army green jacket that every girl was wearing that I remotely miss about being in high school in 2016. It was pretty much all terrible. Like, listen. And also, if you were in high school in 2016, you're an adult now, and chances are, unless you just got a great lot in life, like, I'm not saying, you know, I got the bad end of the stick or whatever, but unless you just lucked up, like, check on the people who were in high school in 2016. Because, you know, they might need some support these days, you know? So it's like, yeah, there's nothing to be envious about aside from the army green jackets. Those were dope. Everything else sucked. Like, there's nothing to look back on there. I was gonna say even maybe the music, but like, I don't know. I don't know about that. I can't really speak to like the club culture because I was 16. I wasn't going to freaking clubs. I mean, there were clubs in Selma. I was not in them. So, I don't know. The media from that time, I mean, let me think. This was shortly, when did season 5 of Game of Thrones air? Hold on. Game of Thrones, season 5. When did that air? Why don't, oh my God, why don't you just tell me when okay, let's see, April 12th and to June 14th. And I think season 6, was that next year? 2016. Okay. Season 6 was kind of but okay, I will say season 6 is when I started watching Game of Thrones live, which is kind of crazy that I caught up in the last like 3 seasons. Which season 6 was okay. Season 7, and then we all know what happened with season 8. Which I mean, the freaking series started in 2011, which I would have been far too young, which, to be fair, perhaps I was a little bit too young to be watching it in high school. That depends on who you ask. But, yeah, that's when I started watching Game of Thrones live. I think that's also when I started watching Mr. Robot. Well, no, okay, it was after season 2. Because no, I only started watching Mr. Robot live when I was in college, because that first season aired. Well, the whole series, I think, is set in like 2015. And I think the first season aired in 2015 or 16. So I mean, there was that. I'm trying to think of movies. When did Get Out come out? Because that did come out when I was in high school. Let me see. That came out in 2017, not quite 2016. And you know, I almost watched Get Out in theaters, but I was going with like a group of people, and it was me and my best friend, my best friend at the time, and this other girl who I didn't like at all. And we ended up being late getting there because the girl who I didn't like at all, apparently had to wash like literally every dish in her house. Like her mom wouldn't let her leave until she washed the dishes. And on the counter was, I swear to God, every single pot, pan, plate, and cup that this family had. And it's like, we're never making it to the theater on time. When you know it, we didn't make it to the theater on time. And then I never ended up seeing Get Out in theaters. I had to see it on 1-2-3 movies like a couple years later, so it's like, okay. 2016, also the era of 1-2-3 movies, which I mean, those kind of services haven't really gone away. In fact, they've multiplied, so it's like, I mean, you know, that's not. Anyway, all that to say, there's nothing to be envious about being a teenager in 2016. Like, you don't want it. You do not want it. Because not only were you in high school at that time, you're in college during COVID, and you graduate after COVID when it's dang near impossible to find a job. So like, you don't want to be a high schooler in 2016. You don't want it. Okay? You do not want it. I promise you that. Youngins, jits out there, which by the way, I have to say, I don't know if jit is like expressly like derogatory, like slur level, but I do quite like the word jit to refer to a child, which I feel like where jit has to be like a Baltimore thing, because nobody says that down here, to like refer to. Okay, that's not what I'm looking at. Let me see. Let's see. Good old Urban Dictionary. JIT is, let me see, okay, 2004. Let me see. Oh, is this a Florida thing? Why did I think it was a Baltimore thing? I think this might be a Florida thing. Miami and Southern Florida slang for a young gangster. Okay. So it's a South Florida thing, which, you know, South Florida, not exactly the South. So I was partially right. But to all you jits out there, you don't want it, okay? I promise you. Gosh. Back to the show, because I was talking about a completely different thing. So Exorcism went on. They were great. After them was False Gods. They were also great. Okay, I just accidentally pressed the spacebar. I don't know why I freaked out there, because nothing happened. But towards, like, the end of False Gods set, the police came back. Oh no. And they came back with 2 cars. It was Capitol Police again. And so it was like, oh man, it really looks like this thing is getting shut down, which by the way, you know, there's always a chance that it can get shut down when you're doing a house show, because like you're technically not supposed to be doing them, but who cares about the laws? And also, you know, the reason that they were trying to wrap up by 9 is because there is a noise ordinance that I believe kicks in at like 10. So it's like, you know, if we're out before 10, then it's probably gonna be fine. And honestly, it was fine this time. They did have to stop like right in the middle of their of their set to like wait for the police to leave. And so, people went and talked to them. Apparently there was someone that was calling, which like, yeah, there's gonna be someone that's calling, because this particular neighborhood, I feel like it's a lot of younger people, but it's also, I feel like the ones that have been living there for like a long time might be a lot of boomers. Quite a few of them. And apparently the police themselves said like, oh, it's not even that loud, but we have to come because this same person keeps calling. So it's like they had to come. And, they didn't shut it down or anything. They didn't even come to the back where the show was. They stayed like by the street. And so it ended up being fine. The show did have to stop for like a few minutes. So things did end up getting pushed back. But False Gods was able to finish their set, and Measureless Aeons was able to begin their set. And of course, me being number one Measureless Aeons fan, they did fantastic. So, nothing new to say there. They are also working on new music. They've been recording stuff for quite some time. But I believe they've been self-recording it, so that sort of takes a little bit longer, I think. And also, of course, them all being like grown, they have other stuff going on, so it's like, yeah, that takes time. Then I feel like I was gonna mention it, like it was in my brain, but then I forgot. Facerot is also recording stuff. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but there are quite a few bands in the stew, and I'm really excited to see what results from that. That's gonna be fun. Yeah, and that was the show. It was a lot of fun. It didn't rain. Like I said, it only started like sprinkling like by the time I left. And that was like the main concern, because it had like rained earlier in the day, like around noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And not particularly hard either, I don't think. Like I didn't even really notice that it was raining when it was raining. But it has been a sort of rainy few days. So like, yeah, it's been raining. What do you want me to say? So what was I going to talk about next? Those are the shows that I went to. They're a lot of fun, and they were a lot of fun. Where did I put? Here it is. And they were a lot of fun because I was protected by my eargasm earplugs. If you didn't know, okay, hold on. If you missed it, I hate that I have to do this every time. If you missed it last episode, I am officially an eargasm earbassador. And I mean, I'm not going to go at length about it, but you can use code JX10 to get 10% off your order at eargasm.com. Whether or not you're indoors in a small venue, indoors in a maybe larger venue, outdoors at somebody's house, outdoors at a music festival, you need to protect your hearing, because if you want to be old and crusty, an old head standing at the back, arms crossed, head nodding, when your time comes, you need to protect your ears. And they have their standard size, which I have. They have their small ear size. They have over-the-ear headphones. I don't know if they're specifically for children, but they have those for children as well. They have aviation. I'm not really sure what that's for. I'm assuming airplanes. That's what aviation means. Either way, for each of these products, they have a lot of fun colors. I just got the blue ones, the regular ones, the regular high-fidelity earplugs. They got them for specific festivals, Either way, whichever one you get, you can use code JX10 for 10% off your order. And I get a little cut of it, So if you want to give me some sandwich money, then yeah, use code JX10 at checkout on eargasm.com. Did I do a good job? I hope so. Anyways, I have some great news for the people who like going to shows, because these next few weekends, you're about to be eating. You're about to be consuming all the way up to the week of Thanksgiving, which as of right now, I don't have anything on my calendar for the week of Thanksgiving, because, I know people do like schedule stuff that week, because that is a week that people will be out of school, not really work, because when you work a job, you just work. Imagine that. You don't get summers and holidays off anymore. I mean, you get some holidays off. I get Thanksgiving off, but not the whole week, just the day of. And I have to go to another state for Thanksgiving. So, like, that's not very useful to me. Anyways, there are quite a few shows coming up. Now, this is supposed to be going out the 29th of October. So, in just a couple of days, you will have so many options. There's really going to be something for everyone. On Halloween night, we have the Halloweekening, which, hold on, I didn't really list out the bands last time, I don't think. So I'm just gonna look it up. We're just gonna look it up on the Instagram so that I can tell you who is going to be at each thing. Give me a second, please. Okay. The Halloweekening, featuring Weak Hearts, the Akashic 45s, Die With Nature, Evil Engines, and Phantomile, as well as Bermudapest on the ones and the twos, which I think that means DJing. I'm like 90% sure. That's going to be at CS's, and that starts at 6 o'clock. That is 5 bands and a DJ at CS's with delicious burgers. If you're not going for the music, at least go for the food, because you will not be disappointed. Everyone that comes from out of town to CS's says they like it. So, consider that. Doors at 6, it's $10. You're paying $10 for 5 bands and a DJ. Oh my God, you're not going to get that anywhere else. I mean, you're not going to get that anywhere else. Not on Halloween. Not on Halloween. And then you have Howlin' Malloween. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to just find the poster. That's not the poster. Hold on. Here it is. You have Howlin' Malloween. That is going to be on Halloween night, of course. Let's see. It's $20 in advance and $25 at the door. But then you've got, and it starts at 7 until midnight. And you have Snake Meadow Hill, Smokies, DJ Checkmates, DJ Young Venom, and High Street. And I didn't mention this before, because I just did mention it before, but there is a $500 costume contest. So if you need a little extra change and you think your costume is going to be the greatest of them all, go to Halloween, enter in that contest, and maybe you will win 500 big ones. Okay, I think big ones are hundreds. So no, it's not 500,000. It's just 500. Anyways, I know my money slang. After that, we have, let me go to the next one. We have a Halloween benefit cover show with funds going towards the Immigrant Alliance for Justice and Equity of Mississippi at the End of All Music on October 31st. Which is Halloween, duh. I don't know why I said that. It's on Halloween. And so we have covers of Misfits, Oasis, Bob Dylan, and, wait, is that the most up-to-date one? I think so. Yes, and Urinals. Doors are at 7 o'clock. And entry is $5 to $10. Pay what you can, but no one turned away for lack of funds, because this is a benefit and the funds are going towards a good cause. And then after that, we have a new one. Hold on. I feel like I just yelled so loud for no reason. I didn't mention this before because it was on my calendar before, but we have Gravemember and God Cop at The Plant. This one's at 9 o'clock. It starts a little bit later. There's no entry fee on it, but I'm assuming it costs money to get in. I would assume. I don't know. But that's at The Plant. You like noise? You like loudness? You like synth? Like I said, something for everyone on Halloween. And listen, I've already given my spiel. I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to tap the sign. Well, I am tapping the sign. But I want to see costumes. It's Halloween. I don't care if you're 30 or 40 or 50. It doesn't matter. It's Halloween. Wear a costume. Okay, I'll be wearing a costume. Will it be super inventive? I mean, not really. All of it, I put it together very easily. So it's not it wasn't that complicated of a costume. I do really hope that people know who I am, because I feel like if you're below a certain age, you might not. And I told my mom about it, and she didn't even know what the heck I was talking about, which is crazy. Like, once you find out what my costume is, it's like, how do you not know? Also, I'm looking at my calendar, and the next time that I'm supposed to be recording the podcast is the same time as a show that I am actually planning on going to. So I'm gonna have to figure that one out, I suppose. Anywho, that's just Halloween. I listed 4 shows, and that's only Halloween. Next up, after Halloween, on the 5th, we have Vampiric Coffin, Exorcism, and Suicide Forest at the End of All Music. That is on the 5th. And then on the 7th, again, so much to choose from. We're all eating, we're all consuming, and it's great. We have The Spirit of Possibility. The Spirit of Possibility. That which waits beyond sleep. The Sky Impose Its Will. Adanami. And recently added is Elohim, which is yet another project from, oh my god, why am I blanking? Indole. So that is going to be a lot of fun. And then, after that, we have new venue just dropped. We have Bridewell, Muzzleflash, Indifferent, and Facerot at Vibe Studio Jackson. Now, this is interesting because I feel like most of the venues, most of them, are in the same general area. So, Sunflower Oven, obviously no longer with us, but Hal-Mal's, I guess that's technically downtown. I guess technically these are in, like, different parts of Jackson. So, like, the former Sunflower Oven and, Urban Foxes, I guess, are technically in Bellhaven. And then the End of All Music is in Fondren. And then Hal-Mal's is, like, downtown. And the Plant is also in Fondren, but that's also sort of not really a venue. I mean, we've had shows there sometimes, but it's not, that's only been, like, a sometimes thing. I'm trying to think of other venues. Oh, CS's is in Midtown, I think, or maybe like between Midtown and Fondren, kind of. Which there was another Midtown Depot, which is of course in Midtown, but I feel like they're all in this like one radius. Vibe Studio is like by Jackson State, so that's gonna be definitely interesting. It's kind of like it's like an art studio, and it opened up a little while ago. There's this person who, please don't fall. There's this person who I think bought the property in like a storefront, strip mall type deal, and wanted to turn it into something nice. And it is sort of close to Jackson State. How close? Let's see. It's like right in between. Let's see. It's right off of Terry Road, if you know where that is. Now, I don't really go on this side of town, mostly because I don't have any reason to go on this side of town. I have been on Jackson State's campus before. That was like when I was like maybe in middle school or high school or something. And had a family member that worked there. That was like the last time that I've been on Jackson State's campus. It's been several years, even though I do quite literally live here. But also, I have no reason to go on Jackson State's campus. So it's like, I just don't go over here. So it's right off of Terry Road, and what is this, 18? Or no, this is 80. Why does it say 18? Okay. Highway 80 and Terry Road. There, you got a Dollar General, you got a seafood shack, and then you got Lynch Creek over here. Yeah. That puts you, it's sort of in proximity of Stamp Super Burgers, which I've heard is also another superb burger joint here in Jackson. Actually, hold up. This isn't that far away, now that I think about it. I don't know why I was like, oh yeah, this is like, it's in well, I mean, it is sort of. Actually, it's not even that close to Jackson State, now that I think about it. Now that I'm looking at it on the map, it's not that close to Jackson State. Either way, new venue location. Hopefully this can be a decent venue location going forward. Where did I go? Here we go. Location going forward. I didn't go to the show at I'm blanking. Midtown Depot. That one's probably, that was an outdoor situation and it is getting colder. In fact, I think we are out of the 80s officially. Thank God, because, you see I've got my long sleeve shirt on, but, like, I can't take this Wednesday. The low is going to be 74 and the high is going to be 59. Like, it's almost time to turn the heat on, So, that'll be interesting. I will say, I am going to miss my old furnace, my old gas furnace at my old apartment. I don't miss having a gas bill. Jesus. No, thank you. Especially in the winter, because again, I had a gas furnace. But I am going to miss it because it does sound like a rocket ship starting up. And I don't think this furnace is going to sound like that, if it's going to sound like anything, because I hardly ever hear my air conditioner when it comes on, which is great, because the AC at my old place was so loud. Like, when I was doing the podcast, early on, I would have to turn it off. Obviously, I couldn't keep doing that because it was just too hot, but it was real loud. It was very loud. Now, I don't even know if it's on, like, right now, unless, I hear it's starting up outside, but aside from that, either way, new venue, possibilities. And then after that, we have, don't make a new event. Do not make a new event. We have Village Instincts, Weak Hearts, and Phantom Mile at Hal & Mal's. That's at 7 o'clock, Friday, November 7th. And then on the 8th, we have Golden Teacher Society, Syntasia, and John Worthy at Urban Foxes. And then on the 9th, we have Hawthorne Heights, Shadowboxing, and Susio at Hal & Mal's. And then on the 10th, like, whoa, so many consecutive days of shows in this 1 week. We have Sex Mex, Headcanon, and Eyes Like Yours at Urban Foxes, starting at, I think, 6 o'clock. Yeah, 6 o'clock. And then, okay, I have to, I gotta stop saying it like this. The 12th, we have Iris Blue and Rosehaven Motor Hotel at Hal & Mal's. Okay, no, I'm gonna keep doing it. It's fun. And then we have, okay, this is the show that I didn't know if it was gonna happen last time, so I didn't mention it, but it's been updated. This is potentially, I guess, another house show because it's it's another DM for address type situation. We have Heavy as the Head, Hole Opener, Commodity, and Facerot at an undisclosed location. Don't know when it starts, actually. I don't think there's a time on the poster. And then on the 15th, we have, I think this is the third year in a row, but I'm not really sure. Third or fourth. I think third. We have Pumpkin Pie, which is this event at Urban Foxes that will feature a lot of different bands, which I will mention, but it is a fundraiser for, okay, I'm not going to try to remember it actually. I'll just go and tell you because that's easier. Let me see where I can find this. Here we go. We have, it's a free event, but they're asking you to bring lightly used coats and blankets or new packaged socks to be distributed to those who need them. Oh, they're partnering with Stewpot, which is an organization that helps the unhoused here in Jackson. Maybe also outside of Jackson, I don't know, but definitely here in Jackson. And like I said, yes, this is the third year, and this is a free event, and it is, oh, there's gonna be live art. I didn't even see this. Live art by Ezria Robinson. That's gonna be fun. Featuring Street Lamp, Headcanon, Surfwax, the Akashic 45s, Syntasia, and Dang. Let me see. Oh, don't start. Sorry. There's music playing. I mean, I'm glad I didn't overreact. Anyways, that's going to be on the 15th. And then the next weekend, we have, this is not, okay, never mind. That's in Vicksburg. I sometimes do put Vicksburg events on my calendar. But then we have Forever Fest, which I don't think I did this last time, but I'll just tell you who's going to be here. We have A Life So Fragile, Beat Up, Camping in Alaska, who I think maybe is the headliner for this event. I'm not really sure, but maybe. Empty Atlas, Glazed Eyes, John Morrow, Mostly Satire, Shadowboxing, and Susio. And that is going to be at that pickleball court off of Lakeland. Hold on, I'm about to tell you once I get back to the tab. 1425 Layla Drive. Ooh, that kind of rhymes. The only thing that is there that I can think of is a pickleball court. So it's off of Lakeland. And then, yeah, that next week is the week of Thanksgiving. And I don't really have any. I have something on my calendar. December 13th, the Akashic 45s, Dreams Without Color, and Achilles. That's December 13th, though. So that should be fun. Hooray. We have so much stuff coming up in the next few weeks, the next few weekends, and I'm looking forward to it. It's, I've had, people, especially the old heads, tell me that Jackson, the music scene here, is really on the up and up. And you know what? I can see it. We're having several weekends now where there are not just one, not just two, but 3 shows going on at the same night. So I do need to take a brief intermission. That was an intermission for me, but not for you all because of the magic of editing. So those are not all of my music-related topics. Those are all my show-related topics. I was not super duper familiar with the band Vanna. I do know they are sort of a classic. Well, I don't know. Are they? Not freaking Vanna White. Oh my, I hate it when I go to type something, okay, into the freaking search, not even the search bar, the address bar on Google Chrome, and it'll autocorrect. And then because I am just impatient when I'm typing, I'm doing my typing, and I'm typing so fast, and then I type something and I hit enter, but then it'll autocorrect to something. I don't want to see Vanna White. I just want to see the thing I typed in. Please and thank you. God. This is why having a mechanical keyboard is so great, because my frustrations are audible, which is why I really want to get one for work. I don't want to have to pay for one for work, but I've been told that if I can find one on the specific Staples website, then I can get one. But I want to get one specifically with Cherry MX Red keycaps, because that's these, not keycaps. Switches. That's these. And I really like the way they sound. It's just so satisfyingly tactile. And I don't want the sound dampened keycaps. I don't want that. I want the clickety clackety. I want people to know that I'm working, okay? Anyways, Vanna. They are okay, they're more post-hardcore, but also they lean into metalcore. So yeah. Well, they came back recently with an EP called Time is Violence, and I've been listening to it a lot. They had a single called Quiet Place that came out. When did this come out? February of this year. Okay, that's been out for a while. And for, I don't even know how, I guess it just slipped by me, but Time is Violence came out in the middle of September 19th, and I only found it a couple of weeks ago. So, Spotify, I have several issues with Spotify. There are also several reasons why I feel like I just can't switch to a different service or go back to MP3s, because I feel oh God, what is this on my neck? Doing the whole MP3 thing, I was in the trenches, I feel I think maybe it's easier to go the MP3 route, but also, I feel I'm at a point in my life where I don't have to pirate things. If I can, I could buy it on the Bandcamp, which technically that is still the MP3 route. You're buying it on Bandcamp, and then you're getting the MP3s or the FLACs, those FLAC files, and putting them on your device of choice. Anyway, one of the main issues that I have with Spotify is that their recommendation algorithm freaking sucks. I'm gonna go on my homepage right now, because I have the web, not the web app, the desktop app opened. And let me go to new releases for you, okay? Brand new music based on artists you love. So I'm assuming this is either, I don't really follow artists on Spotify. That would probably help a little bit, actually, now that I think about it. But based on don't start playing, based on, my listening habits, which go back to 2017. So they got a lot of data to work on, right? First thing we have here is the instrumental version of Yoltarta's latest album, which is like, yes, I would be interested in that. Thank you for showing me that. And then we have a new release. Yes, this is a new release. This came out the 23rd from The Devil Wears Prada. I often listen to The Devil Wears Prada. So like, yeah, why did it disappear? Where did it go? Oh my God. Okay, yeah. So like, yeah, that makes sense. And then we have something from Skrillex. Okay, kind of, I have quite a few Skrillex songs in my liked songs. So it's like, okay. And then we have Nobody Wants This, the soundtrack. And we have Selena Gomez, Casey Musgraves, Teddy Swims. A few of these, I don't even know who these people are. Why are you recommending this to me, Spotify? This feels like payola. How would you recommend this to me based on my listening habits? I don't listen to Selena Gomez or Casey Musgraves or any of these other people. Like, why would you show that to me? I don't want it. Get it away from me, okay? And then we have Calvin Harris. I also have a lot of Calvin Harris songs in my like songs. I listen to a lot of Calvin Harris. Not a lot of Calvin Harris, technically. It really is kind of just 18 Months. I love the album 18 Months by Calvin Harris, okay? I'll say that. And then we have something by Daniel Caesar. Who is that? Leon Thomas. Who is that? Blessed in GZD. Who is that? Jesse Murph. Who is that? Megan Maroney. Actually, I think I might know who Megan Maroney is. I mean, the name is ringing a bell, but I still don't know who that is. How is any of this for me? This feels like payola. You feel me? Like, I feel like, and I think this has been said already, that, certain labels were paying Spotify to put their music in, the Spotify curated playlists, which is stupid. Again, that feels like payola. Like, hold on. Like, I feel like people in the radio industry got in trouble for this years ago. Yeah, payola is the practice of bribing someone to use their influence or position to promote a particular product or interest, in this case, it being music. Payola in the music industry is the illegal practice of paying a commercial radio station, which I guess Spotify technically isn't a commercial radio station, so maybe that's how they're getting around it, to play a song without the station disclosing the payment. Now, I will say, for some of these, like, recommended, and sometimes, the random pop-ups that they do, they will say it's sponsored. So I guess that technically gets around the whole payola thing, but still, I feel like we sorted this out on the radio decades ago. So, like, why is this still happening? And then we have recommended for today, which is, based on recent activity. We got Dillinger in here. We have Misery Signals, After the Burial, No More Jane. Like, this doesn't necessarily surprise me. I feel like this isn't really out there. But I feel like the new releases for me, that, and I'm trying to remember the other, I don't know what these are called. Whatever they're called, is like so random. Like, who are you? Who are these people? Why are you recommending this to me? I've never listened to this music before. Like I can go into my stats.fm and I don't think any of these random people that you put in this recommended or new releases for me have any streams from me. So it's like, anyway. That was my Spotify rant. Spotify went way downhill when they got rid of endless daily mixes and endless radio. And now it's just like a playlist with 30 tracks. And it's like, I don't want that. Their way of discovery, their like discovery algorithm sucks. Apple's was better back in the day. I'll say that much. I don't know if it's, still good these days. I would switch to Apple Music, but you know? I mean, there is, I guess, Apple Music on the Google Play Store. Well, okay, I think it is. I looked this up before, but previously, you couldn't really get Apple Music unless you had an iPhone. I haven't had an iPhone since I was literally in high school, so it's like, you know, I was kind of stuck. That's the entire reason that I switched to Spotify in the first place, is because I couldn't get, iTunes or Apple Music on my Android phone. Because, Apple loves doing their little proprietary business. So it's like, I wanted to continue using iTunes/Apple Music, but because I wanted to, not have an iPhone, I was kind of out of luck. So honestly, I've been kind of shoehorned into using Spotify. I mean, there's other music services, but like, who's using YouTube Music? Who's using Pandora? Who is using Tidal? I know there are people using Tidal, but good Lord, it's just, I hate that Spotify is like the only decent option for streaming these days, because it's not really that good. It just isn't really that good, And also, I get Hulu through Spotify for what, $12 a month? Altogether. So Hulu and Spotify cost me $12 a month. Whereas, and I already crunched the numbers because I was considering doing this like a while ago. I know there's ways, you can switch over your playlists and everything like that and it'll be fine. But, what is it? If I were to continue having Hulu and, and I have the ad plan, so, it's not even the great Hulu, and Spotify and Apple Music, I would go from paying $12 a month to $20 a month. And I didn't really want to do that. I'm trying to save what little coins I have over here. So it's like, anyway, rant over. All that to say, I did not see that the EP by Vanna, Time is Violence, came out until a month afterwards, because that's when Spotify decided to show it to me, because I'm not following Vanna on Spotify, therefore I wouldn't get a notification. So it's like, okay, maybe I should actually start following like a bunch of bands so that I actually get notified, and maybe my recommendation algorithm will actually start to make sense. God forbid you just go off of what I have in my library. God forbid you go off of the stuff that I actually listen to. Jesus Murphy. Anywho. Time is Violence. I like it a lot. It's a great little EP. I love Quiet Place when it came out. This is just a little 4-song EP with, I think this is supposed to be the original Vanna lineup. So if you're into that kind of thing, then yeah, you're probably going to be into this. It is very kind of not new metalcore as in you metalcore, because that's like a whole different thing, but new metalcore as in like the new style of metalcore that has kind of popped up in the last 5 years, which some of it I like, some of it is kind of bland to me. This doesn't feel bland to me, but I can still recognize that, this is kind of that new style that has sort of popped up. Now, what is that new style? I don't know. I can't really articulate what it is, but if you listen to music from, I don't know, 20 or just metalcore from 2020, not even 2020 till now, and then listen to stuff from 2010 and 2015, like, it's different stylistically. It's gonna be different. In what way? Again, I can't really articulate that, but it is different. And that's just the evolution of music. That's kind of what happens. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I don't know. Maybe to me, some of the newer style of metalcore that's kind of starting to come out is like a teeny weeny bit bland. But again, I'm saying all this and I can't even really articulate in what way, so we're just gonna leave it at that. I like the EP. I like Quiet Place, but I think my standout track from this is This Melancholy. And that's really it. So, yeah. Anywho, so last weekend, I wanted to take myself on yet another little me date, which I did. Let's see, the last time I did this was, Juneteenth was the last time that I really did it. I went to like a bunch of places. Well, that wasn't really a me date. That was just me doing touristy things in my own hometown. This was more of a me date. Or a self date, I guess. I don't know. And so my plan was I was going to go to Old Navy, specifically the one in Ridgeland, but not in Ridgeland, technically in Jackson. I needed some new jeans and like some sweatpants, and then I was gonna go thrifting to a couple different Goodwills, and then the Mega Thrift in Flowwood, and then I had like a amount of time sort of left over to kind of do whatever. I thought about seeing a movie. I didn't end up seeing a movie. And then I was gonna take myself to dinner. Actually, I was gonna have brunch first, but let's see, when was this? Last weekend? That was yeah, I mean, I didn't go to bed late or anything like that. Well, it was pretty late. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty late. So I ended up waking up at like 10 or something like that. So I ended up starting my day kind of late, but either way, skipped brunch because I wasn't super hungry anyway, and just went on to the Old Navy. And I got there and I found out there was no more Old Navy, which is so crazy because that's like the one that I go to, and now I have to go to the one that's way freaking past the airport in Flowwood, which I hate going over there because, first of all, I hate driving on Lakeland. There's too many stoplights, and I hate it. And I think it's terrible. And I don't know why that is organized in the way that it is, just like a series of strip malls. I feel like all of that, which, I feel like hold on, let me look at a map, because I feel like if I can look at a map, I can illustrate this a little bit better. Because there are a number of, let's see, where am I looking? Yeah, all of this stuff, if you just look between I-55 and, what is this, 471, I guess, this is just one long stretched out city along just a series of strip malls along a road with a bunch of stoplights. All of that can be condensed, and I'm not even really talking about like the residential areas. I mean, I don't really know what to do with that, but this Lakeland is just the worst of city planning. Like, why is it all spread out? Why is it all strip malls? All of this, if you just thought vertically instead of horizontally, you could put all of these strip malls like in one little area. Like, all of that can be in the area of like the entire airport that I'm looking at here on this map. There is no reason for this to look like this. This is just honestly awful city planning. But of course, I mean, you have like the reservoir up here and then the Pearl River over here, which that might, hinder building things a certain way just because of the terrain. I don't know if it's, super good for like building stuff on. Probably not. But you have this, all this space in between like 80 and Lakeland Drive that I feel like could be utilized a little bit better. I don't know. I just hate this kind of city. I like this, just the whole metro area type system. I just don't like it. I just like cities better because it just makes better use of space. And it's like, oh, we're all on top of each other. It's like, why do you need several acres for a yard that you're only going to put grass on? You're not growing things there. You're not planting flowers for the pollinators. You're just growing grass. What's the point? And when the summer hits, you gotta cut all that grass. You don't want to do that. You want to be out there cutting grass. I mean, some people might because they just hate their wives and they want an excuse to be away from them. But what do you need it for? What do you need it for? You don't need it for anything. Why? Why do you need it? To be able to say you have a yard? Oh, whoop-de-doo. I don't have a yard. It's not the end of the world. Truly. I have neighbors, including some that live above me. It's not the end of the world. I promise you it's not. People live their entire lives in condos and apartment buildings, and they're doing just fine. You don't need a yard. You don't need a yard if you're not going to do anything with it. And let me tell you, some people truly aren't doing anything with their yards. They're just LARPing as, I don't even know what they're LARPing as, but they're LARPing as something. All this makes me so angry for some reason. It's like, one day, do I want to own a house with a yard? Not really. I would like a an outdoor section for myself, whether that be a patio or a balcony or something like that. One that's actually a decent size, because I technically have a patio, but it's so small. In fact, I think I have the dimensions of my patio just to give you an idea of how small it is, because I think I wrote it down at some point. Let me see. Maybe I didn't actually. I thought I did, because I took measurements of it because my mom wanted to buy me patio furniture, but it's like the only thing I can fit out there is like maybe one chair and like a side table because it's just so small. But that's like at the not very high on my list of priorities, to be completely honest. Having a patio, having a section of space that is out of doors, that is accessible to me and only me, would be nice. But like a yard that is several acres, a whole wildlife preserve. What's the point? God. Anyway, what was I even talking about? I was trying to segue into like something else, but anyways, I went to Ridgeland. The freaking, what do you call it? The Old Navy isn't there, and apparently the TJ Maxx is closing as well because they're building something that's like slightly north, that's technically in the Ridgeland part of that area. So it's like now all those stores are closing and they're going to be moving. So it's like, okay, I guess. Anyway, all that to say is I did end up going thrifting. And I went to my trusty Goodwill in Pearl, which is where I get all the good stuff. I got my JVC CD player / tape player at the Goodwill in Pearl, and I got this in Pearl. Hold on. It's Awakening by Bless the Fall. Now, this is not my favorite Bless the Fall album. It's Witness. Witness is my favorite Bless the Fall album. Honestly, if I saw Witness in that stack of CDs, I would have busted for sure. But no, it was it was Awakening, which I mean, this is still a pretty decent album. I have given it a spin. It does need a new case because there's hold up. There's a crack right here, and that's not great. But the CD itself is in pretty good condition. I did find a few other CDs in the stack, which you gotta go through the stacks of CDs. You gotta go through the stacks of CDs. You gotta go through the stacks of tapes if the Goodwill that you're at has tapes. You just gotta look because you're never gonna know what you're gonna find. And I didn't know I was gonna find this. So yeah, I'm pretty happy that I did, to be able to add it to my collection. Like I said, not my favorite Blessed Fall album, but I do like it. I do like it quite a bit. So yeah, along with that, I found, what was it? Hold on. Is it? The album Erase Me by Under Oath, which came out in 2018, so it wasn't, that old. This came out in what, 2011? And hold on, let me see. Hold on. Was it that one? Yes, Punk Goes Pop Volume 5, which is not my favorite Punk Goes Pop either. I'm trying to remember which one is like the good one. I think it's either 2 or 3. Hold on. So there's 4, and then there's 2, but where's 3? Why isn't 3 on the list? Here we go. Okay, maybe it is 2. I'm trying to see what's on the track list here. Punk Goes Pop Volume 2, because some of these actually do kind of hit. Or maybe it is 3. That's not. Hold on. Pop 2, where's Pop 3? Where's Pop 3? Why isn't this on here? Freaking Wikipedia doesn't have a thing for Punk Goes Pop Volume 3. Let me see. Why can't I find it? Why are you... Oh, here it is. What's Volume 3? Oh, so there is one for Volume 3. Yeah, Volume 3 is the one. So, and then, okay, no, there's the only 3 CDs that I found of, not importance, but interest to me. So, yeah. And now I have 6 compact discs, and I want to get one of those like towers that like rotates for my CDs, and also I guess my tapes. Will I get one? I don't know. Could I build one? Probably not. Well, okay, that's not true. I have built things before in my life. I've built this desk. Okay, it came with instructions, but I built that bookshelf over there. Okay. Building something from scratch without directions, however, I don't know. I don't really know, you know. Anywho, we are almost at time, but I did want to talk about something else. So I was on Instagram as I'm wont to do, and I saw this one random post about something. I can't remember, but it mentioned this one game called ClanGen, and this is not something that is, you know, I have a lot of facets to me. You know, music is a very big part of me. The Sims is a really big part of me. But the other thing that is and was a really big part of me that I don't really talk about a lot is the Warrior series by Aaron Hunter. I was not a Harry Potter kid. I was not a Twilight kid. You know, there were a lot of very popular, I guess, middle grade and young adult series. I didn't really get into Hunger Games or Divergent or anything like that. The series that I was most into as a kid, starting in the 6th grade, was the Warrior series by Aaron Hunter. And if you don't know what that is, I mean, I'm going to explain it, but it's going to sound super ridiculous because, I mean, you know, if you just look at the concept, then like, yeah, but it is just, I don't know, man, there's so much to it. Like, you really had to be there. And there's still books coming out in the series, which is crazy. And Aaron Hunter is a pen name for, I want to say, 3 or 4 different writers writing as a team. So there's been like quite a few different Aaron Hunters that have joined or left the writing group. I think the primary one when I was reading was a woman named Victoria something. I can't really remember her last name. But the first arc, the second arc, the third arc, and like half of the 4th arc is as far as I ever got in the series. But it's about a group of cats, feral cats, living in the forest, presumably in the UK, because there's like a lot of terminology that you just don't see in the United States. Like a lot of also like animals like badgers. We don't really have badgers in the United States, at least not in the South anyways. And other, you know, animals that are described that kind of leads you to believe, I mean, the writers, they are all based in the UK, but living in the woods, and you know, there's war, there's death, there are, you know, there's a story arc about being displaced and they have to find a new home. Like, there is so much to the Warrior series. Like, you really have to be there. It is so also really violent, so very violent for because I think the recommendation is like grade 5 and above, like 5th grade. And and if you know anything about the Warrior series, there is so much murder and blood and gore and subterfuge and betrayal. There's so much. Like, it is really intense for middle grade books about cats living in the woods, but I was so obsessed with it. I was so deeply into it, and it is legitimately the thing that made me want to become a writer, was that series of books. So yeah, that's lore drop. Ooh, new Aaron lore for those who didn't know, which probably would be most people because I don't really talk about it that much. But anywho, I found so there have been a series, well, not a series, but there have been a few over the years, like Warriors fan games, but they haven't really been, I don't know. I mean, they were kind of fine, you know. There's this one, oh man, hold on. Let me see. Oh my goodness. There's this one that was out a while ago, and I'm trying my best to remember what it is, but I can't really remember what it is. But it was one where the graphics weren't really super great. But you can kind of like directly control your cat in your clan. And I'm trying to remember what it was. What was it? Was an RPG. Was this it? This couldn't have been it because this says 2017. Maybe it was. No, this wasn't it. But there were like maybe 2 different. Hold on. I'm really trying to remember what this was called. Was this it? No. I don't think so. No, it wasn't. There's like this one RPG. I can't for the life of me remember what it was called. Hold on. If I go to images, I might be able to find it. Okay, hold on. If I go to images, I might be able, hold on. Okay, this is definitely it. Okay, this is a list of all fan games. Which one was this? Which one is this? Hold on, what does this say? Oh my god, open image in new tab. Just show me what the freak this says. Okay, it just says Warrior Cats the game. I'm pretty sure that was the one that I played back in the day. Hold on. Click to view the list. Yeah, this is the one. When did this come out? I don't really know. Either way. Is this the official game? I don't think there was ever an official. Well, there might have been something like on the website, but I don't think this is the one. But anyway, there was an RPG that I would play a lot, but it wasn't like super great, to be completely honest. I mean, it was fine. And then maybe it was the Untold Tales. I can't remember. It's like, I don't know when this came out. But anyways, there were maybe one or two. This has to be it. I'm looking and this is it. But I'm assuming this is Warrior Cats the game. Oh, and this is old. This is a screenshot. Oh yeah, this has to be it. This is a screenshot from Windows XP. That's crazy. When did this come out? Hold on. Okay, there's a wiki for this. It doesn't really. Okay. Anyways, I'm pretty sure that was the one that I played. Okay. Anyways, but I found newish one mentioned in a, what do you call it? Instagram comment. It's called ClanGen. And basically it's not really super hands-on. It's mostly just honestly like randomly generated events, but I'm like really hooked. I'm genuinely so hooked because, you can like have your own clan and have them interact with other clans and have, things happen and, you can get your entire, or maybe not your entire, but like half your clan wiped out by like green cough or something like that, which is, I guess, the cat equivalent of the flu. And it's honestly a lot of fun. And if you are a fan of the Warrior series, which I don't know what the crossover is going to be with the people who watch this podcast and fans of the Warrior series, but if you don't know about ClanGen, look it up. It's free on itch.io, and I think there's like mods for it too. I haven't really looked into those, but if you have the setting where you have like a little bit more control, that's the fun one. There's one where you just kind of have to like progress and then things happen and you don't really have much control over it, but there is another one where you do another game setting where you do have, or game mode I guess, where you do have a little bit more control. That's fun. And so that kind of got me to thinking because, like I said, the Warrior series is what got me to want to be a writer of fiction specifically. And back in the day, of course, I feel like all writers these days start out doing this, but back in the day, I wrote this 30-part, which I mean, the parts weren't particularly long, and I do still have it. It is still on my computer. I could just look. Where is it? Where is it? Hold on. Where is it? Is it in here? No. Is it in here? No. Where would... Oh, here it is. Yeah, so... I started... Hold on. I started writing this in... Why does it say 2015? That's not right. I started writing this in 2012 when I was, let's see, based on dates, 13 years old. And there are 30 parts. It's a 30-part. I don't know how many words it is. I don't even know if this is still, hold on. Is she still alive? Is she still, oh, it's taking a while to load. Oh no. Is fanfiction.net not still around? Wait, did I spell this wrong? Hold on. Is fanfiction.net gone? Oh my lord. Really? Hold on. That can't, no, hold on. I'm not believing this. Search Google. okay, so it's still indexed on Google, but apparently, yeah, apparently the site's been like abandoned, which that's not great. I'm so glad I never got rid of all the stuff that I wrote on there, because if so, that would have, wow. Okay, so for whatever reason, the main page won't load, but I'm looking at books, and yeah, so if you didn't know, on fanfiction.net, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Warriors was the 6th most popular book, or I guess the 6th most populated book on fanfiction. Of course, the top 2 are going to be Harry Potter and Twilight. Harry Potter has 851,000 different works. Twilight has 223,000, and then right below that is Percy Jackson with 81,000. So there's like a huge margin there. But Warriors was the 6th most popular one. Can I still log in? I mean, we're about to try. We're doing this live. It does still work. Holy cow. How? Okay. Sure. Wow. So, yeah, she's still there. She is still there. Hold on. My profile is still there and everything. Oh wait, no, hold on. How would I get to my profile exactly? Hold on. Doc manager. Do I not have anything here? Hold on. I don't have any. Oh, hold on. No, manage stories. Okay. How many words is this? 23,000 words. It's a 30-part, 23,000 word fan fiction that I wrote between 2012 and 2013. My land. It's completed. So, it's a full thing. And now, okay, so something that I kind of don't like. I mean, I can understand why this happens, because I mean, that is sort of the case a lot of the time. But I feel like in a lot of lay people's mind, when I say fan fiction, the first thing that comes to mind is smut. I was not writing smut, okay? I wanted to create my own clan with its own story. That is what I wanted to do, and that is what I ended up doing. And from what I remember, it was decently popular, sort of. So yeah. And then there is a book too that I never got around to finishing, because what I would do in this time is I would write the different parts on paper and then transcribe them so that I could post them on fanfiction.net. Which, thankfully I do still have all of this. Thankfully. Goodness. Yeah, actually, I mean, I have it on a few different hard drives. So unless all of these hard drives fail and fanfiction.net goes offline for good, this will be out there. This is in which I mean, you're just going to have to look for it, because I'm not going to tell you what it's called. So good luck. But yeah, 23,000 words, 30 chapters. Yeah. And the thing about this is, there was this one story that I wrote when I was in high school. It was called The Underground, I think. And it was, a whole, this is around the time that The Hunger Games and Divergent and all of the dystopian fictions were very popular. So I wrote my own. And that one I still remember quite a bit. Like, it's been a while since I've actually read it, I have a live stream on my main channel of me reading the whole thing out, so if you are interested, it's there. That was when I went over to Wattpad. But I, as I was playing ClanGen, I sort of remembered, I never forgotten that this was a thing, but I realized that I kind of forgot how the story went. And I think it's time for me to reread it. I'm not gonna, make a video or anything out of it. I'm just gonna do this out of my own, because I want to, because, this is like my first published work. So it's like, I'm sort of scared, because I don't know how bad this is gonna be, like how poorly written this is gonna be, because I mean, I was 13, you know, was I 13? Hold on. 10, 27, 2012. How old would I? Yeah, I was 13. So it's like, but also I am curious to know how this is gonna what this is gonna read like, because like I remember, you know, the plot twist that I put in the underground, which I guess is sort of a spoiler. There's a plot twist, but I mean, what didn't have a plot twist, you know? So it's like, yeah, I think it's time. I think I'm in a point in my life where I can reread this and see how it goes. And it's like, ooh, this is gonna be something. So, anyways, like I said at the top of the episode, I was gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be short. We're at an hour and a half now. So, yeah, that is gonna be it for me. This has been the 57th episode of the Running My Mouth podcast. I've been your host, Erin. Thank you for allowing me to run my mouth. Follow me on Instagram, because if you're not following me follow me on Instagram, because if you're not following me on Instagram, you're only getting half the story. Use code JX10 to get 10% off on eargasm.com, on your order on eargasm.com. And I got a lot done today, but the only thing I haven't done is folded my clothes, so I should probably fold my clothes so that, you know, I can just make things easy for myself this upcoming week. That's always my goal on Sundays, is just to make things easy for myself for the upcoming week. And hopefully I can do that, because it's already almost 9 o'clock. So yeah.